Hi, how's everyone doing? Welcome to another video. This video will be number 2 of the Google Guides to Technical Development series. Why I call it number 2 is because we're on the second bullet point now. Thank you for watching. I hope you like the video. If not, leave a comment on why I don't like the video and how can I better improve. Alright, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, I'm on the website, continue where we left off. Foundations and programming. Let me just put this battery on. Yep. So we completed the first one. We completed the first one yesterday. Now we're working on this one. This bullet point. Using strings in Java. Java for beginners, strings functions, and char. Brush up on the fundamentals of string manipulation in this helpful video from Code Courses Intro to Java series. Alright, let's take a look at it.
Hello and welcome to the 9th video in this Java.
So I guess this isn't really a problem solving video, I guess, but it's going over. It's not a problem solving video like the first one, but it's going over. But it's the next bullet point in this series. So my guide is going. So basically, these videos and the future videos are just going through the bullet points, and if there's a problem video, I'll call it a problem video. If it's not, I won't call it a problem video. I'll just say like bullet point 1 or bullet the next. I would say like bullet point 2, or I would say problem, not technically problem, but the next bullet point in the series.
Java series for beginners. In this video, we're going to be looking at strings and characters. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the string variable type. So we've seen literal string usage. If we just do system.out.println, you can see right in here we can put speech marks and write stuff like hello world.
Okay, pause. If you're not familiar with Java, I just want to point out a couple of things. So basically, every code, whether it's in C++, Java, C, they all have a main function, which is called main. That's where the program starts. Every program has a main. Python has a main. It's not like listed like this one is. It says main. Python is not listed, or like it won't say main, but there's a beginning and the ending. So the beginning is called main. That's where the computer starts. So here we have main. We have a class main. If you don't know what classes is, you get there. You learn classes eventually. Either you read the book I recommend in the previous videos. It's called Think Like a Computer Scientist, Python 3.6. It describes what classes are. Now let's continue this video.
So it's all very well using these literal values here. But what if we want to make a string variable? What if we want this hello world to be equal to a variable so we can use it in other places? So let's go ahead and take a look at the most basic form of this. If we go ahead and write the word string, make sure it's capital S, because it's not actually a primitive type built into Java. It's actually an object, and we'll be looking at that later on. But for now, just write string with a capital S. So this is going to declare a string variable type. We can give it a name as usual. We'll call it message, and then set it equal to, we can just copy and paste this. So exactly the same as if you were declaring an integer or whatever, just slightly different syntax. We're declaring a string variable type, not an integer, obviously. We give the variable a name, as in every other case, and then we set it equal to a string. And bear in mind, it has to be in these speech marks here. You can't not have these speech marks. You need them in there to make sure the Java compiler can read it properly. So if we go ahead and system.out.println and we print out the message, you can see we get the same effect, because we've set hello world equal to this message here, and then we're printing out that message.
I want to pause for a second just in case you don't know what a variable is. A, a variable is a box, and inside that box you can hold stuff in it. So in this case, I'm going to draw on the screen. Screen sketch. So in this case, you have a box. And in this case, this box is called message. Now let's make this box 3D. I'll show you why in a minute. So inside this box message, you have the string hello. So inside here, you have the string hello. Now, when you system that print ln, it's equivalent in Python to the print statement. So when you see message, that means go inside the box message and print out what's there. In this case, is hello world.
So let's look at some of the functions we can do with strings. So let's go ahead and make space between these. And let's do different things with this string message here and then print them out, see what happens. So if we go ahead and write message and then put the full stop, we can see all of these functions to do with the string. And there is a lot of them. A lot of them we won't be using like ever, but a lot of them we can use. So let's go ahead and do the first one. We'll go ahead and do concatenate here. You may have seen this in other programming languages, but if you don't know what concatenate means, it basically means add on to the end a different string. It's basically like adding numbers together, except you're adding strings together. So if we have this hello world here, and then we say message dot concatenate, and then go ahead and write a different message. So we can add that onto the end of this hello world message here. And this message, what this string does here, it doesn't actually set the value of this message equal to this plus the string added on here. It's actually just going to return the value of what it would be if this was added onto this here. So we're going to actually need to set message equal to that. So we can say message equals that. So what we're doing is we're initializing a string variable called message equal to hello world. Then we're setting message equal to the message itself. And then we're concatenating on this string of text here. So when we hit run, we can see we get that concatenated string. We've merged this string with this string using this concat method. So there's another method we can use. It's called, there's two methods actually I'm going to show you, called two uppercase and two lowercase. And these have various uses. First of all, we're going to say message again. We're going to say equal to message dot. And then we can say, you can see them here, two lowercase, two uppercase. And you've probably guessed what they do already. You can just click them and then do a semicolon. When we hit run, you can see every character that was capitalized changes to lowercase, and then vice versa. If we say to uppercase, we can see everything goes all caps. So those were three pretty simple functions that I've showed you. We're not going to go in depth on each of these functions just because they're pretty simple, and I'm literally just showing you them so just for sort of educational purposes. Well, I mean, this is a tutorial. That's what I'm doing for everything, obviously. But this is basically pretty simple, and it's not that hard to grasp. So that's why I'm just going over it pretty quickly. So let's remove.
I just want to add something like if you're learning Python, the equivalent statement is, let me just check the video length. Okay, 9 minutes. So the equivalent is If I were to open up idle, so for concatenate, we can just do is adding strings together. So simply we can say hello, hello world, plus lovely day, isn't it? And that's the equivalent of saying this concatenate. Now to upper I believe. Let me see. Help, help upper. That's that. Let me see. A equals apple. A dot upper. I don't know if that's yes. So in Python, the equivalent is just upper. It says to uppercase. In Python, the equivalent is upper. Continuing.
Of these ones we had here. Now let's see how we can use individual characters inside the string and how we can manipulate them. So you remember there's an inbuilt variable type called char for character, and we can set this equal to any individual character that we have on our keyboard, and we use the single quotation marks instead of double quotation marks. So what we can do with a message is we can break it down into its character parts. We can break it down into the H, the E, the L, etc. So let's see what we can do using individual characters. The first one we can do, or another easy function I can show you, is replace. And it replaces one character, a character that you specify, with another character. So if I say message is equal to message.replace, and it's the second one here with the characters, it takes two parameters. The first one is which character do you want to replace, and the second parameter is with what do you want it to replace it with. So in the single quotation marks, we can say, for example, let's replace the lowercase o's with zeros, and then let's copy this line down. And then we could say replace the e's with threes, and we can replace the l's with ones. So this doing these three functions here, all the o's it finds, it'll replace with zeros, e's replaced with threes, and l's replaced with ones. And you'll see if we run this, we get hello world with the numbers changed for letters. So the replace function, again, pretty simple. We're setting message, the variable here, equal to itself, but replacing different characters within it. And then when we print it out at the end, we end up with this. So let's now break the string down into its character elements. And we're going to use the for loop that we learned in previous tutorials to do.
Okay, we have 2 more minutes. So in Python, you have the same thing. The reason I'm doing this because I recommended in previous videos that you read How to Think Like a Computer Scientist, and that book teaches Python. So I might as well show the equivalent, even though the goal of this is to learn Java and arrays and stuff like that. It's good to see how it is in other languages, because like once you learn one language, it's easier for you to learn another one. So the equivalent is replace, right? So let's say I want the p's and I want to replace it with b's. So I can say a dot replace, leave old and new. So I want to replace the p's, the letter p, and replace the first occurrence, I believe, with the letter b. So now, all. So that's the equivalent in Python. Continuing, I'm gonna pause it. I believe time is up. We have a few more minutes, so I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.